When did you decide, or what I call the aha moment? When was the aha moment that you knew that you needed to step away from the security blanket, if you will, of corporate America? And I think anyone in America watching this will understand what I mean. That's not being disrespectful. Because you really had risen quite high, and you'll probably talk about this, in the ranks of Humana's information technology department, which is no small no small order. I mean, they're some of the sharpest minds, I would think, in that field, in that company, in that division. So what made you that moment?
Yeah, so this is something I'm very passionate about, and I do research about it, and I kind of teach and mentor these kind of things, and I read a lot of books and posts about these as well. When is the right moment for you to actually, own small business? And there's no easy answer. I have been in corporate consistently, no gap, for 18 years. While I own many small business, with our families for 20 years. So my mom and I started the first nail salon in the West Louisville on Broadway, where she still is working 362 days a year, only take 3 days off for the last 24 years. Right?
Wow.
That's what drives me, and she's still going. And if I don't have the energy to do, I don't know. I wish to beat her in that aspect, and I don't know if I can. But that's what drives me. But then go back to about owning small business. Right? When is the right moment? It's a hard call. I have been doing 5 jobs for many, many years now, working 7 days for the last more than 10 years now. Right? Consistently doing 7 days.
You got small children, and we'll talk about that, and wife. You got that whole aspect.
Exactly, and all that is because of my mom. She keep going, and we got to keep going.
I like it.
So I go full time at Humana, and all the companies, as I climb the corporate ladder, going company to company, and every single time, of course, it got to be a higher position. I demand for bigger projects, and things like that. But I teach on the side, right? I study on the side. I mentor and coach youth on the side, while having, grow our family small business, So every few years or so, God bless, we got another one. God bless, we got another one. And we constantly having that man, right? So I call it the left hand way of going things. And the right hand is the security. Right? You got to have the right hand with security for your life. And that is my engineer degrees.
I see.
Bachelor, master, doing my PhD right now, and teaching and all that stuff. So you accumulate that knowledge as well as you accumulate this. So when you actually go wholehearted at this, it's a hard call. But I make the determination to go full with this right now is when I kind of hit the max, of technical, position of role as an engineer at the Fortune 50 for Humana right now. So I asked myself, climb to the highest level engineer called principal application architect, right? And I was the first 2 or 3, I think, which got that title when it first come about in Humana. So it's pretty significant out of 7,000 engineers or so. Right? So that's a defining moment, but I wouldn't consider it's very high. It's something you must do anyway, right? But then when I have my beauty school, okay, when I have my beauty school, and I started for the last 3 years, so when I have my beauty school, and when I first hit 100 graduate, right? When I hit the 100 graduate marks, and they got their license, and they work, they have jobs right now. Because personally, I kind of guarantee that. Right? The school legally they cannot, but it can be my personal mission, which it is, and I intend to have that as the mission. I gotta put you in job, and if I don't put you in jobs, I fail. I fail, literally fail, right?
That's beautiful.
So as soon as I hit the 100 mark of graduates, and license and in job, I thought to myself, oh my God, my satisfaction go, over the top. I cannot measure that anymore. When at this moment I also max out this level of technical, knowledge in engineer, I'm like, where do I go? Right? Where do I go? So the next thing, it has to be VP level. So it's management. Well, I'm doing management here, but management here, the satisfaction is way more. Right? So I make the hard call. Right? I made a hard call, but I didn't make the hard call immediately to jump off. There's multiple factors that goes about things. Is that when I actually about to be close to the maximum level, which I know, I share that with all my mentor and leaders that I trust in the company of Humana. I start to hit the ceiling. You got to help me out here, give me bigger projects, $1 million project, now 2 million, but yeah, it's still technical. I want something more. Okay? So at that moment is when something, happened. My friend, and I can't name her name yet because I haven't asked, but she told me that D-Tran, every single time when I sit down with you, you talk about community, you talk about people, you talking about using your own asset and times and go and serve and do this and that all the time, right? Let me give you a suggestion. Why don't you look into public office? Okay. So at that moment is when I'm about to be the top level engineer at Humana. And I think about it. So I did research for 4 months. And then I figured out, hey, it makes sense. Government is where all the resource is about helping the community, which that's what I'm doing, with all my small business anyway, and volunteer and things like that. But if I'm in there, I can help a lot of people. I can maximize all the resource to the highest level that I think I can. So I immediately registered to run for Metro Council. Right? At that moment, I was late. Right? So I got to run in as a write-in, but I run a full campaign anyway. And at that moment, I did not think twice to actually go and read the policy of Humana. Is that you work for private company or public company, and you can run for office.
Yeah.
Right. So
sad but true.
Yeah, sad but true. But now, so that mix with this success, and I'm hungry for this right now. It's overload, right? It's overload, and this right now. So what am I gonna do? Okay, I wanna be in public office, somewhat sector to help the community and using this kind of educational asset or foundation that I can help more people. So that mix with this mix, I determined that hey, it's probably the time for me to try out for the first time, right? To quit corporate life, and it is hard. It is tough.
And you get used to that check every 2 weeks, to be frank.
Yeah, it is tough, it's uncomfortable, and it feels very weird, right? But I ship my entire creativity, energy, whatever I have, that I'm craving for on this side, which I cannot get more or bigger projects or satisfaction.
You reach a plateau.
I ship it over here, and I bring this up to 100, from 100 graduate to 200s right now, and we soon to have 280 somethings, and that is what happens. So it's not an easy move. It's tough, I can tell you that. It is hard to get off your security zone.
So I don't know if you realize this or not, but there's a lot of parallelism in thought of your decision and what your mother did to leave Vietnam. I picked that up on that in the short time we've been sitting here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've processed that, but there's a lot, different variables, but I'm seeing a same kind of decision-making process. So there's something going on in your all's DNA or genetics.
It has to be. I noticed that. Now you point that, right? So point out that, it makes sense. I think she also kind of maximize her growth.
Sure.
Right?
So and
she also maximize her capacity to give us better life. and she know the answer is the security for her children. And the answer is that the education for her children is beyond everything that she have right now. So she's willing to unload 100% to seek for that, right? And give me that, right? And I gotta pay back that.
Right.
So that's why I work really hard. You know, I gotta follow her to give her exactly that, and I hope that I'm giving her that. I don't know if I did yet,
Well,
but I'm
I
hoping.
think you got a pretty good start, my friend. You're awful young. A lot more chapters, don't forget.